The following program is rated TV MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
The sun doesn't shine every day. The storms will come. There are times when the nights will be long and dark and you will be alone. There will be times when the darkness seems to consume everything. Even in the darkest times, even in the strongest storms, even when the sun is blotted out and the world is falling apart, the darkness cannot extinguish your light. Your will. No matter what is happening, no matter how hard the fight is, as long as you keep fighting, you win. Because the darkness only wins if you let it. Do not let the darkness win. Fight.
What's going on, brother?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Welcome to Fighter to Fighter.
Hey, thanks for having me on tonight. I really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, definitely, bro. Definitely. So, look, kind of want to run down a little bit real quick. Fighter to Fighter is not your conventional show. We don't talk about this fight. We don't talk about that fight. We don't talk about how training camp went. Man, today's goal is focused on you. How you came up from your early childhood, what got you into the fight game, what things you may have struggled with in the past and how you overcame all that and how you became a better fighter. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
So, man, tell the world about yourself, man, where you started out, where you was born, where you came up at.
So, I was born in Marblehead, Massachusetts, which is about 15 to 20 minutes north of Boston. And Marblehead is a wealthy, wealthy town. You hear Marblehead and you think of kind of the one of the prime prize jewels of the North Shore. You think that's where the money is. So growing up with that stigma of a hometown, it comes with certain gifts and consequences. You know what I mean? Just like anything else in life, you could grow up in the ghetto and be a victim of that circumstance, or you could grow up in wealth and be a victim of that same circumstance. So it's all in the eyes of the beholder and how you handle what's given to you. So
Yeah.
I
So, how was your childhood coming up?
childhood was good. Um, Growing up as a boy, I attended the Lamb's Den Elementary School. It was in Old Town, Marblehead, and I still remember my teachers. Uh, they taught with my grandmother when she was a teacher. So um, I remember going to the muffin shop with my favorite teachers and eating muffins and eggs. You know what I mean? Just my childhood was beautiful. My childhood was beautiful. 4th of July, there was a nice little parade in my neighborhood. This was way before the politics and integration of these politics affected certain areas in America that had these beautiful family traditions, beautiful families. From Christmas tree lightings to thanks Thanksgiving parades to neighborhood baseball games. they paved paradise and put up a parking lot. It's
I never heard it put that way before. They paved paradise and put up a parking lot. I like that. I like that. So, man, how old were you when you started becoming interested in organized fighting?
oh man. So let's take a step back before, because growing up in Marblehead, that was beautiful and everything was great, and I never even thought about fighting. Um, Around 10 or 11 years old, 12 years old, I started having these problems. You know what I mean? This OCD. I had to shut a door 2 times. I had to do everything in multiples of two. And I don't know if you can just think about it, because everybody has this, disorder. It's extremely exhausting to live your life doing things over and over again, and also honestly looking silly while you do it because people don't understand, and they're watching you, struggle, literally struggle in your mind, have a full on mental workout, but they don't understand what you're going through. So that was tough growing up. No one really understood that. I had, I had to do things my way, and I had to do it that way, or I was gonna not sleep that night, not be able to eat. You know what I mean? So, that was tough growing up, getting bullied. I had a lot of trouble with my pronunciation. You wouldn't believe it. I couldn't complete a sentence in high school. I was soft spoken, if not spoken. If I
Right.
spoke, I'd yell at you pretty much back then. So I was not the person that I am today. I had to grow into these shoes, and I had to learn how to be. But I grew up, an overweight, fat, curly headed fuck, to be honest with you. I was fat, OCD, ADD, you name it.
Yeah.
I was going a mile too, and I had an attitude as well. So I had all this aggression pent up from being teased and not being accepted in social circles. Whatever I tried to do, it didn't work out. You know what I mean? Football, this didn't work out. I was too fat. They wouldn't let me play with the little kids because if I tackled them, I'd probably break a hip. So I was too fat to play football in Pop Warner. Um, I was too unfocused to play baseball. I'd run around like an idiot in the outfield, not an angel in the outfield, idiot in the outfield. I really didn't have the concentration to even watch a television show. I didn't watch South Park. I didn't watch The Simpsons. I wasn't able to watch movies in high school because I couldn't pay attention. So,
Man, that had to be pretty tough
well,
on you
carrying
as a kid.
all that burden. And people just think that you're, misbehaved kid, but the reality is there's a lot going on under the surface. You know what I mean? So, um, early on, around 10 or 11, when all these problems were going on, 12, my parents went through a divorce as well, and that was, extremely hard on me. So, just loss after loss. I went from public school to private school because I had to. You understand? They paid for me to go to private school because I couldn't learn, and that was great. It was short lived. I was in and out of 3 private schools.
Oh wow.
Bad behavior. I only made it out of one for doing the right things. I slugged a few people in the face. It's funny what I'm doing now, considering how I got kicked out of high school. So I came back to Marblehead High School in '08. I was that bad kid that was shipped away in middle school that went to private school. That didn't work out. So now he's coming back. So everybody looked at me like, oh shit, there's Calmus. Yeah, motherfucker, here I am. I was in high school with tattoos. I'm a bad boy. And I'm not gonna go by this, I have this in my head that I'm not gonna go by this culture, this soft culture. Forget that. That's not me. I'm
Right.
to show them that I learned how to live, man. You're out at private school, you got 5 or 6 kids in your room. They could all be from different environments. Private school doesn't mean you're rich. Them kids could be from hard streets in New York. They could be from Philadelphia, all over the world. So you learn different things. So I came back a different guy, and that was tough on me too. You know what I mean? That was
Yeah.
really
So let's take a step back a little bit real quick. You said you dealt with the OCD and the aggression and the bullying that came from it. I mean, how did that make you feel at that age, having to experience all that?
well. Other than my family not fully understanding what's going on, I mean, who can? it was very tough on me mentally, physically, and emotionally. I mean, all three of those things. Just getting bullied at school, and then not being able to really keep a lid on my own emotions. Um, it just took a big toll on me. I'm a really composed person now, and everyone who hangs out with me would be like, "Oh yeah, like Zach's the best. He's real composed. He does." I have tons of friends. Um, I'm not bragging, but I'm proud in that sense. Because there was a time when I could look through my phone. There's no one to call because of whatever reason. But it's a hard world. You know what I mean? You got to bundle up. It's a tough world. So I think it's a good thing that I went through these struggles. So I saw that the culture is not accepting me. I had trouble with coaches in high school, team sports, football, hockey, lacrosse. I played all three of these sports. Was I ever given my fair shot? Absolutely not. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It's a popularity contest in high school, and I know that.
Yeah, it really is. I
So,
know. I know when I was coming up, man.
you know,
I did a lot of things because I felt like I wanted to be included in a lot of these cliques or whatever in school, and somehow I kept migrating toward the bad ones. So I kept doing the wrong things for the wrong reasons. And man, I was in and out of group homes and institutions and stuff as a kid. So I get where you're coming from, bro, because you're misunderstood and you feel like you want to fit in because everybody looks at you sideways that you think matters. So you migrate towards the ones who accept you, but at the same time, you're constantly doing things that you shouldn't be doing.
you got to pay heed to what their reasons are they accepting you for and what circles. So, you know, people that have nothing to lose are dangerous people because that's exactly what it is. They have nothing to lose. They don't care about you, me, or the next one. So, through this pain, obviously, I found myself, at different times in struggle, losing jobs that I wanted to keep, and ended up spending nights behind bars. Not proud of that. It wasn't anything that I can't live with. I can look in the mirror and I'm okay with it, but it was
Right.
stupid. You
Right.
know, split decision. And split decisions whole can change 5 years of your life. So you don't you don't necessarily need to act a certain way just because somebody does. And that took me a long time to understand that concept. Just because someone punch you in the face, don't make it right for you to punch them back.
Right.
Wrongs really don't make it right, and especially when you're thinking about your own future. So that just took me years and years and years. And some people have to live it to change it.
Yeah.
I was people, I couldn't listen to anyone's advice and I couldn't get out of my own way as a youth. But
We thought our way was the best way.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. I remember, man. Once I hit high school, I kind of cleaned up my act, and I played baseball, and I did. See, down here it's a real country environment. You've been down here. You know how it is down here in Monroe and this area around here. It's real country. And I was in FFA, which is Future Farmers of America, and I used to do all these things. And I joined the army when I got out of high school. I joined the army, and man, I got full of myself, because I finally felt like, okay, well, I'm 10 foot tall and bulletproof, and man, stupid decision after stupid decision finally landed me in prison, and I did a couple years behind bars, man. It was tough.
mainly so it's extremely tough and it's hard on families. It's hard on families at the end of the day. Just I have friends in prison right now. I have friends doing long sentences, and I have family doing time right now, and I'm definitely not happy about it. My brother-in-law is in jail, and he's got a long bit ahead of him. It's his birthday today, so
Oh wow.
happy birthday, Kyle! And
Yep. Happy birthday, Kyle.
basically, like, all right, so you can either take these situations, the hands you've been dealt in life, or what I realized. Okay, you're fat. Okay, you got long. You're a goof head. You're a goofball. You know, you're a goofball. You got OCD. People make fun of you. You don't stick to nothing. You know, wow, what's the problem? You go into your fridge, you're eating everything that's there. That's why you're fat. Look at, you know,
Right.
what habits. So I broke myself down. Like when I was like 16, I broke myself down. I was like, you can't fucking be this way. Like you're crying about all the things that you're causing. So, you know, my mom is a phenomenal chef. She's a great chef. She cooked for years for Gordon College. She was a caterer for Marriott, top of the line. So there was always steak, lobster. I mean, you name it, food for days in my house, and I would eat it. And but eventually it was my own fault because it was making me weak. You see, this was the woman's job, and here I am. Yeah, I have access to it. Doesn't That's a choice.
Right.
You know, you got access to everything. I could get any type of drug I want. Doesn't mean I'm going to do anything. I'm not gonna.
Right.
Choice. I drive by liquor stores every day. I don't drink, so it's a choice. Um, these are all choices all around us. So that's what I stopped blaming people for where I was in life, and I really got after it. You know, really got after it. I had my first amateur boxing match at 17 years old, sanctioned
So,
USA
what
box.
made you what made you step in the gym? What made you decide, okay, this is what I want to do?
I was getting bullied a lot, and I was in and out of different schools, and I was just a fat kid, and you know, I wanted to change that. I wanted to lose some weight and get into, you know, this is before high school. This was like eighth grade. I was at an all boys school and I just wanted to start getting in shape. So I went to a boxing gym in Cambridge. My dad brought me on the weekend and I couldn't even jump rope. Like I looked terrible on the bag. I didn't know what I was doing, but I tried hard, you know?
Right.
So after that weekend, my dad brought me back up to school in Marlboro. And time went by, you know, I ended up at different schools. I ended up back at home eventually, like sophomore year of high school and public school. And I skipped my junior year because I had credits. So I ended up at a boxing gym in Peabody. My dad took me over in the summer and I really got into it. I lost like 30, 40 pounds, really got in shape. And like from 15 to 17, some obvious changes happened. You know what I mean? Like I was started to spar. I did like a smoker event where I sparred like a grown man and I did pretty good against him, you know. And I was like, you know, Dad, I think I want to have an amateur fight. USA Boxing, you know what I mean? I was 17, so they had to sign the waiver. My mom wasn't about it. My mom definitely not, you know. You want to fight in somebody's ring, go do that. And I understand that's a mom's reaction. My dad signed the waiver, you know, he's like, well, give it a try. You know, he boxed at camp. Why not? Give it a try. A kid's got to try things, you know. I wanted to try paintball. My dad bought me a paintball gun. I wanted to try go kart driving. My dad took me, we rented a go kart. I wanted to do this, that, whatever it was. I had to try it, you know, so I could experience life. So I tried boxing and I got my ass kicked bad.
Yeah.
I got fucked up. And then, like, bad. It was an amateur fight, but I got dropped, you know. And then I got dropped my next fight. I got dropped my next fight. And I got dropped my fourth fight. Then, you know, I took a few years off, to be honest. I was like, you know, 20 at this point and I was on my own. I was living in an apartment. I have my girl since I was 19 and I was working moving furniture a lot. I was moving like 50, 60-hour weeks, like big moving jobs, like just making shit money, just being worked. You know, I didn't know any better. I was a kid thinking I was doing good. You know, that's what I thought, you know, but they were just using me up and all day, just all day, and just all day. $8 an hour, $9 an hour back then. It was,
Oof.
bro, it was shit. I was on probation, so they knew they could just, you know, use the system against me. And I was a kid. So I just did whatever. And I took years off from fighting. I never thought I was even going to go back. I was like 22 years old, 23 years old, not even thinking about fighting, just moving furniture at that point for a good company. Tobin's moving. I was moving furniture all around Boston. It was great, you know, whatever. I was living in Rockport at the time, Cape Ann up here near Gloucester, but I wasn't struggling. And one day I get a call from a kid And he's like, "Hey, Zach, you mentioned at the gym that you wanted to get back into fighting. Well, we're doing this little fight. You want to get down with mass bum fights?" And it was bare
Wait,
knuckle
what?
mass bum fight.
Mass bum fights.
It was like bare knuckle fighting in an alleyway. And I was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, whatever. Yeah, I'll show up. What time?" You know what I mean? So I'm on my couch playing. I think it was PS3 at the time, and I ended up just getting off the couch and fighting this guy down here in Gloucester, and I whooped his ass. I dropped him, and I didn't. It wasn't no big deal or nothing, but they were like, "Champ, champ, champ," and I like put the idea in my head that I still got this. I still should be fighting. I should still be doing this. So we're lining up the next fight, and I meet this kid from Missouri, and he's like, "Yo, we're not gonna fight. We're both sanctioned fighters. Like, why don't we go to a gym together and be teammates?" So I was like, "That's a way better idea. That's smarter. You know what I mean? Like, let's go to a gym." So that's what happened. We went to an MMA gym. We beat up everybody. Then we went to another gym, beat up everybody. Went to another gym, got kicked out of that gym. I got kicked out of like 6 gyms. We beat up just dogging everybody. Forget about it. And no one could deal with my rage or my aggression at this point because I was just an angry 24-year-old, overworked, underpaid, underrecognized, and I was folding people up in practice, and I couldn't keep a lid on things. And eventually, I didn't even have any wins yet. I had no sanctioned wins yet. I had just done mad smokers. I'm folding like fathers and like stepdads and people that shouldn't even be in the ring. Like I'm knocking people out in smokers, charity events.
Yeah.
So I didn't know any better back then. You know what I mean? I even went and did a couple of kickboxing matches and got my ass kicked in front of thousands of people at a casino up in New Hampshire. So like I just didn't know better. I was just jumping on everything. And I'm tough, but I'm not smart for that. And I eventually found home at a gym in Lynn, Private Jewels Fitness, and this gym took me under their wing, and they told me, well, that I had a home in Medford, and I won my first 3 wins there in USA Boxing. I won in Medford, Billerica, and Providence. I won my first 3 fights, novice class fights, 2-minute round boxing. Novice class USA Boxing is 2-minute rounds. So I was really proud after that. You know what I mean? I got my first wins at Quiet Man Gym, and that's John Ruiz, the first heavyweight champion of Puerto Rico's gym in Medford. It
Okay.
was back gym. So this was like 7, 8 years ago. Long story short, things were going great. I wasn't getting any sparring and getting ready for it was like the Golden Gloves coming up and the Rocky Marciano. So I asked my coach for sparring and he like caught an attitude about it. And I was like, whoa, what's the problem? I didn't mean no problem, just get somebody over here when you can, a heavyweight, a body for me. I don't know what his problem was that day, but he come into the shower room at Gold's Gym and he stares me eye to eye. Now this is a world champion's younger brother. So he's staring at me eye to eye. I'm naked in the shower, soaping myself. He's got his mouth guard in and his gear on, his hands wrapped. I'm like, all right, bet it's gonna go down. So he swings at me. I see the curtain move. I grab this dude, push him out. I'm like, yeah, like we start fighting. I put him in an arm bar so my balls are in his face. And I'm like, so there's a big commotion. He doesn't do nothing. He doesn't call the cops or anything. I beat him up, but I walked out of the gym. The like bodybuilders of the shower, like, you got to go. Like, you got to go now. I'm like, I'm leaving. I don't want no problems. So I left. I found out that he went and told the commission that I attacked him in his office for no reason. That's
Wow.
not what happened. You know what I mean? That's absolutely not what happened. I got attacked in the shower. That's what happened. So when I went to my new gym, my license was suspended indefinitely. And my new coach went and he's like, listen, if this kid screws up, then it's on me. So I went and fought in the Golden Gloves, but I had to apologize to the commission. Now in 2016, I got clipped in the 3rd round at 200 pounds and I got stopped. I made the count, but I got stopped. I had a concussion and everybody made fun of me. 2017, I gained 40 pounds, won 3 fights, came back, and I won the open class Golden Gloves in Lowell against a guy with like 85 fights on my dad's birthday. So I ended up fighting the Golden Gloves the next year after getting knocked out, going through all that, fighting at the gym, getting knocked out at the gym before that, all that. I got knocked out in the Golden Gloves. 2017, they stopped the fight. I was messed up. I remember Jared Gately hit me right hand, and I went right down, and that's it. Show's over. Like my lights went out. I made the count, but I had a bad concussion. I wasn't right for months after that fight. People were making fun of me. Everybody made fun of me. I came back 2017. I won the championship, open class. After that, I'm ahead of steam. I'm like everybody's made fun of me my whole entire life, and now I finally have something to show for it. This was 6 years ago. Finally, I can say I won the Golden Gloves. I'm a Golden Glove champion. That's for life. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, brother. That's what's up.
And at this point in my life, this was 5 years ago. So I went on after that I kept fighting USA boxing, and I went on like a 11 fight losing streak. I lost like
Let me
11
ask you real quick, not to interrupt you, but
fights.
so you went on this 11 fight losing streak. Did it make you at any point discouraged where you were like, man, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, or maybe I should be doing something else, or did it make you more hungry to improve yourself?
Well, I won one fight after that. I won one fight after that in Newton at a dinner show. And then I went on an 11 fight losing streak. And at the end of that 11 fight losing streak, they ranked me nationally 13th in the country.
Oh wow, that's dope.
So I got a national ranking on a losing streak of 11 fights. So it just showed me that I didn't really lose all those fights. That was bullshit.
Right.
So in fact, when that happened, it built a whole bunch of confidence under me. Actually, fighting these top guys, it made me very confident as a fighter. It perfected my skills. I was able to really see myself fight top boxers and go the distance, and fight top guys in the country. I mean, I fought a nationally ranked fighter from Rhode Island, Tim Hatfield. I fought him like 8 times, and we went the distance every time. And those were wars. Those were wars. He's 6'11".
Yeah. So during all that time, what were you doing at home that kind of, you know, apparently you outgrew the OCD eventually, or you at least outgrew the worst part of it. And what were you doing at home in between all these fights to really improve yourself, not only as a fighter but as a person?
So at this time that I was competing, doing all this, I was part of an amateur boxing team. It was a top level amateur boxing team, and I was captain of that team. So I had over 30 youths looking up to me every single day. So it wasn't even an option to drop the ball at that time. In my amateur career, it wasn't even an option to drop the ball, and I absolutely wasn't going to fumble the pass, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I did everything right back then. I crossed my T's and dotted my I's. And that being said, still turbulence. Like I don't care what combat world you're involved with. Like it's fighting, it's boxing, not ballet, and shit's gonna happen. Whether it's with your sparring partners, your coaches, management, or a person who owns the fucking building, shit always happens. It's a turbulent industry. So to go into the street and think you're just gonna walk through it, I think everything's gonna be just great. No, nope, nope. Pack your bags and put a submachine gun in it while you're at it.
Yeah. So all this turbulence, what were you doing to get past all? Because I know some of these things probably mess with your head every now and then, and maybe they didn't. But how did you get past them? How did you move on to the next?
I'll be honest with you. I could either let all this pressure break me, or I could say no pressure, no diamond, and that's what I did. So amateur boxing, here's the true story. Amateur boxing closed up in our country for 2.5 years. There was no amateur boxing, USA boxing. Corona came in, the big virus came in. So right after I competed, I won in 2017 the Golden Gloves. Then I went 2018, 19. I went to nationals, went to Chattanooga, and I went to New Mexico once. Around 2020, amateur boxing was done. Now I still had more I wanted to do. I wanted to go back and compete national again and try and make a ranking again, but that wasn't an option in like 2019, 2020 when the corona came about. So I had one option was to go pro in boxing. So I had my pro debut up at Granite Chin Promotions in New Hampshire, and I ended up winning in the first round by TKO. They stopped the fight.
Yeah, I think I saw a video of that.
Yeah,
I
it was
want
a
to say, yeah, I want to say you posted it.
glove boxing match, and it was just a debut. And after that, you know, I knew that I wanted to get into bare knuckle right away. That I wanted to make the switch like almost instantaneously because we had already I'd already been watching the bare knuckle. I already knew that it was going on, and Chris Sorrow came down to our gym for sparring, and I went up there to spar with him, and then I kind of had that in the back of my head that I could be good at bare knuckle, and that I've been in a lot of fights. I played hockey, you know. I like to fight, and I like to fight with no gloves. I have no problem with it. I'm built for this. So I saw the tryouts online January 5th in Plant City, which is outside of Tampa. It's right outside of Tampa, Plant City there. And it's the trains run through. So I booked my ticket right when I saw it. I applied to the tryout. They accepted me. I spent like the last $1,000 I had, free money, just money I had on me that I could use at that time to go to Tampa and try out for the BKFCs. I went to tryouts and I didn't know what to expect, but I walked in and I was trying to fight people. I walked in and I was making a big noise, making a big statement. And they ended up picking like 5 people from the tryout, and I was one of them.
Bro, I watched. I ain't gonna lie. So whenever I linked up with Quentin and I joined his gym and started training with him and everything, and I took a little deep dive into learning more about bare knuckle and watching a lot of videos and stuff through the app. And the first thing I really watched was that Plant City tryout. And I remember I'm watching it. I'm like, man, who the fuck is this dude over here just hitting himself in the head and shit? Like, well, he is going psycho in that bitch. Like you were fucking going in. I'm like, oh yeah, that dude, yeah, he's a beast.
It was do or die for me. That tryout was do or die for me because of everything I've been through, we previously discussed. And all my favorite restaurants were closing. Um, families falling apart. Friendships were all falling apart at the time. My job was just a fucking mess, man. I was really holding up like my end and 3 other people's as well. The moving company keeping it alive. Like, shit was really looking pretty bleak, and I was really upset. I was watching like good people that I know go through hard times, and the corona really hit. That's all I got to say. The corona really hit my town. It hit it hard,
Oh
and
yeah,
I watched my best friend die. I didn't see it, but my best friend died during the corona, and that hit. Uh, I had no option but to, I had to do this.
so you go to the tryouts, you make a statement. I mean, you made a fucking statement.
Yeah, I went crazy,
Uh,
fight everybody, pretty much.
hell yeah. So you get the call from BKFC finally. You find out you're going against the fucking Bible Belt brawler himself, Bobo O'Bannon. Man, that was a huge opportunity for you, bro. Like that was probably one of the best fights I've ever seen in bare knuckle. When it came to the tenacity and the not giving up, and bro, you got knocked down like fucking 6 times, bro, and you kept getting back up, and I'm like, man, this dude is he just don't fucking quit.
Never. So, you know, there was very little cheerleading going on in my environment growing up. So that I mentioned that I grew up in wealth. My dad plans meetings and events he planned for MetLife for like 30 years. You understand? He's a company man, and my mother catering and food and all that. All that good stuff in life. My struggles can come from completely different place. I was born in the struggle, born with mental disabilities, born in the struggle. So there was nothing that was gonna hold me back from making my place at one place in this world. You know what I mean? Like I just it meant so much to me that, and it still does, that I will not bring a slack performance to BKFC or any combat arena that I perform at, because that's my family name. So that's my grandfather, that's my grandmother, that's my father, that's my mother, that's my uncles, my aunts. It just means so much more than me. You know what I mean? Generations that struggled 10 times harder than I did. That's what I'm representing. So I definitely got to bring it when I fight. It's do or die.
So the bell rings with the abandoned fight. You go back to your corner, and David Feldman walks up. What did the boss man say to you at that point?
I can't remember the exact words that he had said to me at that moment. There was so much chaos, but it was to the extent that it was a great fight. You know what I mean? And he was really happy with our performance, obviously, and just to stick around and everything.
So when you found out that it was fight of the night, how did that make you feel?
Real good. It made me feel like finally all the years, all the pain, basically, it kind of washed away, if you will. Everything I had been through in my life had washed away. So internally, it felt like a win. I mean, Eric, it felt like a win. I know I lost. Trust me. I have dreams about that fight. I got my ass kicked, but I won inside in my eternal spirit, because I needed it. I was going through a lot at that time, and um, I, I needed that. Is what I really can't explain to you how much I needed it, and at the time that it happened, I was going through so much stuff just inside. My friend passing away. I was going through problems with my family, problems with my health, problems with my job, financial, every type of struggle you can imagine. I was on the edge when I went to tryouts. So the fight was very important to me. It was very important to me, and I kept telling Mr. Feldman and Mr. Nate Shook that I was not going to let them down. I promise you, I won't let you down. And that was my number one goal of that fight, was not to let anyone down and to do what I said I was I'm out to do.
One of the things that impresses me the most about you is you show your appreciation to not just the company, but to what you represent every day. Like every day, your story on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, it's just this, it's always this outpouring of appreciation. And you put a lot of emotion in a lot of the things you post, especially the videos and the pictures and things like that. And in my opinion, that makes you one of the most genuine people, because no matter if you've lost, no matter if you won, it's always the same thing with you, bro. And it's really impressive to watch. Knowing now what I know, that you've come from all this in the past, that you've overcome so much, it all makes sense now when I see the things that you put, because like I said, it's like pieces to a puzzle, and it all makes sense. I can see the picture now as to why you are the person you are inside and outside of the ring.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, and you definitely summed it up. That's why I know what it's like to be bullied. I know what it's like to be put down. And this ain't an anti-bullying campaign or anything like that. It's been a long time since people have treated me like that. But I've come a long way too. That being said, I'm pretty sure if I stayed in that place, I'd still be the same kid. I'd just be a 30-year-old version, 31-year-old version. So
Right.
you
So let
gotta
me ask you.
you gotta
Um,
love yourself. You gotta love yourself in this life. You have to love yourself. And I mean when all the cameras are off, when the jewelry, when the shit's off, when it's all gone, do you love yourself? Yeah, I do. And that's why I'm able to love other people. And that being said, that comes with a standard, with a code, to not judge people by their look or their occupation or the color of their skin or the color of their clothes. More to judge people by the way they move and their heart, who they are. Who are you? That's how I'm looking at people. So and also, when you live in this honest, you don't have to lie to anybody. So you're not worried about what you're saying. You just say what you feel. So there's a level of genuine that comes with that too, and that's what I've been experiencing.
yeah, man. I counted myself lucky when the week leading up to October 1st, you flew down here. I finally got to meet you. I finally got to kick it with you. Uh, you know, and watching you live with Juan Torres, man, that I just remember the sound of just body slamming against body and just the meaty smacks and the whole time when you look in the ring, it's like you have a fucking smile on your face.
Oh, that was the funnest fight, man. That was a great time. Um, every time I had a good time, but that was great. That was a great fight. Uh,
So do you feel like you've made it?
my whole life I wanted to do this. So you know, and not just boxing. I wanted bare knuckle to be like a legit thing way before it was a thing. You know what I mean? I was talking about it being a sanctioned fighting sport when you know mixed martial arts took off big and UFC and all that. I was like, well, what if they could have it like UFC but just boxing with no gloves? That would be great.
Well,
And that's
BKFC is definitely growing faster than the years that BKFC has been out. It's definitely growing faster than the UFC did in its early years.
it's because it's better.
Yeah.
Way better. Everybody no one wants to see the gloves. They want to see the big knockouts or big blood, and they want to see real violence. And like, how are you not going to see real violence when I'm 255 pounds or so,
Look at
uh,
those fucking knuckles. Jesus.
and I'm swinging at a bag. I don't even put any wraps on or anything. So I'm throwing full capacity at motherfuckers. Like, these punches, no joke. Like, no joke. You know what I mean? Like I've been perfecting my hands, putting them through the Gloucester sand every day and punching the bag with no gloves. So like, yeah, my hands have changed a lot from my first day to now. Like you can tell just by the look at them. They're
You look
completely
like you could cut metal with your fucking knuckles.
well, I was cutting a bagel the other day and I sliced my whole hand with a serrated blade. Like I
Oh
missed the
shit.
sliced my hand and I was like, oh shit. And there was no blood at all, just a scratch. Like that's how thick like my hands like from running them through the sand and just like you know conditioning my hands and just like becoming really tough. You know what I mean?
So we're starting to wind down a little bit. I got a couple more questions. The fame. Like every time I see videos of you at an event, people want the pictures. They want the autographs. They want to shake your hand. They want to meet you. How does that make you feel inside knowing that these people who you don't even know, they're huge fans of you. They run up to you, and I mean, how does that make you feel?
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now. There's two ways to deal with fame. Let it build you up on uncomfortable, unsteady ground. I see that happen to so many guys. Or take it in for what it is. If you take it in at face value, like after I fought in New York. New York, 2, McElroy. People were running up to me during the main event. Autographs, pictures. People were going crazy. There were so many people I couldn't even walk to get a beer. It was nuts. And it was first time in my life I saw 100 people in line to see me. It was like I couldn't even walk through the casino. And I told one kid, I'll answer this with this what I told him. I hope he's watching. Because he asked me if I remember what I told him, and I always will. I say it a lot. I said, here today, gone tomorrow. Just remember that. That's what I said to him. Here today, gone tomorrow. Just remember that. I told him that because it's true.
No, it
Don't,
definitely is.
don't build me up to some superstar level and don't put me on some pedestal because I'm not that guy. And I don't put myself on that pedestal and I don't build myself up to be anything more than what I am. And what I am is a man. I'm just a man. I'm not a dude. I'm not a guy. I'm not a bare knuckle fighter. I'm Zach Calmus. So I can treat people with respect that I deserve and they deserve by just being that guy. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, we're starting to wind down, getting toward the end of our interview. It's been fucking fantastic. We're going to do a quick little 5 random question round. And and a lot of people, they write their questions down. I like to think of them off the top of my head because that just makes it more fun.
And one
All
more
right.
thing, I'll leave you with this too on that note. More with sugar than salt. You get more in life with sugar than salt. Nobody wants to be going to buy tickets to a guy who's a dickhead. They
Yeah,
want to they want to be friendly to a guy who they can relate to. So I think just that's what's really driven my popularity in the sport and in person. It's just that people can relate to me, and I'm not trying to be anybody that I'm not really. You know what I mean? I'm not putting on a show for anyone. It's not gonna happen.
definitely, bro. Definitely. All right. So, question number 1, chicken or beef ramen noodles?
Beef,
Beef? Okay. All right. I dig it. I dig it. All right. So, if you could have any car in the world, what would it be?
a tank.
I said a fucking car, but I guess we'll take it. A fucking tank.
It's
Hell
a
yeah, I like it.
land recreational vehicle.
Hell
Uh,
yeah, I like it.
I don't know, probably one of those hovercrafts like the Jetsons.
Fucking love it, bro. I love it. All right, number 3. What is your go-to post weigh-in meal?
Well, I never really have to make weight. I'm a big boy and I ain't on no type of diet. It's kind of like the seafood diet. So I'm just trying to see food and I try it. You know what I mean?
Straight
I,
up.
so there's no type of favorite meal. I eat the whole spectrum. Good balanced. I like a good balanced meal before a fight. A nice balanced meal where you have like your protein, you have your carbohydrates. I love sweet potatoes, yams.
All right, so number 4. Nothing to do with the gym, nothing to do with fighting. What is your go-to thing to do at home to enjoy yourself?
Um, Go to thing at home or just out.
Well, just outside of the gym, outside of the gym, outside of the limelight, outside of the ring. What's your go-to thing to do to enjoy yourself?
Oh man, you kind of hit me with a question. I'm gonna seem like a boring dude. So fighters invest so much time in this fight life that I don't really do anything outside of fighting. Only thing I do outside of fighting is I have energy to put on TV at the end of the day. But hobbies, man, I have a motorcycle. I have a motorcycle. I haven't ridden in a while. I got 2 pit bulls. I love spending time with my dogs. That's not really a hobby, but more or less, man, I want to be 100% honest with you. Since I started bare knuckle fighting, I left all my hobbies.
I dig it, bro. I dig the commitment.
I
I
don't even,
really dig the commitment.
I don't have anything else that I do outside of lifting weights, hitting a bag, running, anything that's physical. Like I'm never really if I Netflix is not a hobby. You know what I mean?
Right.
Am I a boring guy? No. Am I interesting? Yeah. I go to shows. I go to AEW. I go to WWE. I go to a lot of events, but that's not a hobby. You know what I mean?
What's something you enjoy doing though?
I don't have any hobbies anymore. I let them all go. Like, I don't have shit I do outside of fighting or entertainment now.
So number 5, if you could pick anybody on the roster right now, what would be your dream fight?
Dream fight. So I got to choose my words real carefully. My dream fight or the fans' dream fight?
What would be yours? What would be yours? And this isn't a call out. This isn't trying to put nobody on the spot or nothing. But what do you feel? What fighter would push your limits, test you,
Yeah.
and make you a better fighter?
Well, the only smart answer to give you and like the most logical, most reasonable answer obtainable person would be Jake Paul.
Oh, Jake Paul, bro. Everybody's calling him out. Hey,
Yeah.
he might answer the Sharks' request one day.
Floyd Mayweather. I'm thinking about money. I don't want to fight anybody who's. I'm not going to call anybody out online that isn't going to pay me. You know what I mean? Here's the reality. Any business you put me in, it's going to make them money. If you put
Yeah.
me in a fatal 4-way wrestling match, they're going to get paid. If you put me in a movie, they're going to get paid. I know I'm entertaining. I'm actually out of my fucking mind. If you
Yeah, we know.
like if there was a camera on me following me around on my daily, you'd be like, this dude really is. That's him.
So
This
we
is
need the Shark Attack reality show.
no, that's him. That's the motherfucking OG right there. That's OG Daddy Shark right there. Damn, he is fucking crazy. But
Hell yeah.
the things that I do casually, people got to like build up for. I've realized in my life, like the things that I'll do very casually, people got to build up. They got to like warm up for that. For real, they got to warm up their fucking hip flexors to get ready for some type of.
Fuck yeah. Well, bro, we're reached the end, man. If you got any shout outs, sponsor shout outs that you want to throw out there, man, get them on out there. Let the people know that you appreciate you supporting them. And it's your time, man. Say what you need to say and get it on out before we close it down.
Yeah, I'll get on real out. I'll get out short and sweet and leave them with this. In life, I've realized that nothing worth it is easy, and no one's gonna give you what you want. You got to take it. You got to be a capitalist, or people are gonna step all over you. If you're gelatin, people are gonna pick up on that, and they're gonna heat it in a microwave. At the end of the day, I know that I am where I am because of me, because of my decisions, both good and bad. So I guess I'll leave the viewers with make good decisions and have a good life. And it's simple as that. Um, you know, I want to shout out the BKFC, David Feldman, Nate Shook, the matchmaker over there. I want to thank them for everything they've done for me. It's tattooed on my hand. It's in my DNA. I was born to do this. I told them it was my destiny at the tryouts, and I completely intend to fulfill everything that I promised. So, just gonna be war from me. And I want to shout out Gloucester, Massachusetts, my hometown. Everything I do is for Gloucester, and I think they know that when they see me running around and working, I'm doing it for the town. And I appreciate everything they do for me. And also Carter Park Fitness, my strength and fitness coach, Wayne Ulick. I want to thank you for everything you do for me. I want to thank Champs at Danbury, Champs Boxing Gym out in Danbury, Connecticut. AJ Galante, Jeff Esposito, my coaches out there. I want to thank them for always having my back. Danbury Tractors all day, tattooed on my neck. I want to shout out Danbury for this next camp. I want to shout out Blake Laquez, his big fight coming out.
That's my dog, bro.
Louisiana. I'm heading down to Monroe. I'll be there on the 15th.
Why didn't you fucking tell me?
Yeah, I'll be down there on the 15th. I figured you knew that.
Motherfucker.
Eating some good food, some crawfish dinner, and
I'm taking you out, bro. I'm taking you out. We're gonna go eat some fucking crawfish.
through Baton Rouge to Blake's fight, And then after that, I'm fighting. So I can't release the exact details on that, but I think everybody has an idea.
Yeah.
So,
well, bro, it's been fun. Love you to death, bro. And I'll be hollering at you, all right?
and Eric, I really appreciate your time, and I love you too, brother. Like the way that I felt down south when I was there, I might as well have been home. That's why I'm coming back so fast. I really, 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 really appreciate the way that everyone made me feel. Thank you. And I intend to bring a little bit of Boston up there to the south, just like Blake brought up here. So it's just going to be a ongoing, you know what I'm saying, ongoing brotherhood and movement towards the future. So
Hell
that's
yeah,
what it
bro.
is.
Well, bro, I'll be seeing you, all right?
Sir, thank you, Sam. I'll talk to
I
you soon.
appreciate you.
Having a hard time going back to the gym after working out at home? Well, now you don't have to with the X-Bar. The X-Bar from X-Bar Fitness is an incredible gym alternative that gives you the same intense workout you get at a full gym with hundreds of machines. One X-Bar alone provides the same workout as a cable machine, bench press, dumbbell set, free weights, leg press, barbell set, and all these other machines. Stop wasting time debating whether or not you should go to the gym. Order the X-Bar to get a quality workout in the comfort of your own home.